Hey, good afternoon, or good morning. It's still morning. It's been a long day. Hey, I'm Chief Meteorologist Matt Standridge. We wanted to give you an update on what we're seeing out here on the roadways. We had that big burst of snow really hit Northwest Arkansas earlier this morning, and now it's pushing into the river valley. We wanted to give you an update on how the roads are doing. Meteorologist Zach Scott, meteorologist Michelle Trotter, they just did a fantastic update tracking where the snow bands are, who's getting it, who's about to get it, who's going to be wrapping up soon. But right now we're in Bentonville. We're right on the square. There's a courthouse. Let's talk about roads. Right now around the square, and a lot of these side streets in Bentonville, they're slushy. Now there's a lot of tire track areas where they're just wet. I'm honestly making pretty good contact here with the road, so that's good. But it's our bridges and overpasses overall that we're getting a lot of problems. I mean, we've had several accidents this morning. Once that burst of snow came in, it actually really overcame the roads. A little bit more than we originally expected, but sometimes you just don't know until the event starts. But we had a good burst of snow. I've already been able to tell that in Bentonville right now where we are, the snow is actually starting to slowly taper off, and that's going to be the case for the next couple of hours. We probably still have 2 or 3 hours left in Northwest Arkansas, so Benton County, Washington County, Madison County with some of this snow, and then it probably will taper off. There could be a straight flurry this evening, but right now you're looking as we are headed east towards the interstate. The road here is very wet. Now there are some spots that turn kind of slushy again, but at least it's not really icy. It's a lot of slush and we're able to cruise along okay. But I tell you what, those bridges are very slick. They have iced over a little bit, and that's where we've had our majority of accidents. You're gonna see right here as we head towards the interstate that sometimes you get a little slush in between the tire tracks, but then right where the tire tracks are, you wanna keep your tires just so that they make good contact with the road. But so far right now and around Bentonville, people have been taking it easy, taking it slow. It's our interstates though that we're having several problems, and I wanna show you what the interstate's looking like. So what we're gonna do is I'm in Bentonville, I'm headed towards the interstate I-49 right now. We'll hop on and we'll talk about what we're seeing. But right now the flurries continue to come down. We've had some bursts on and off, but that burst is now moving into the river valley and we're causing some big problems. Of course, we still have that 540 accident. I checked about 10 minutes ago. I'm guessing it's still pretty backed up though at the moment at the latest count. We're on Central Avenue right now. We're just passing J Street. We're very close to where the new Walmart headquarters is going to be. But right now we're still able to cruise along just fine. I'm getting a lot of kind of road spray right now from other tires in front of me, but I've seen a lot of plows out. They've been working hard. It's just that quick burst of snow was able to overtake some of the roads there in that late morning commute as folks were headed to work and school. A lot of schools have closed or doing early dismissals. Let me know what your school is doing. That's a great update for us. But right now we're cruising. It's cold. We've got that wind out there. And I tell you what, you see all the slush right now on the road? I think once the snow comes to an end, we'll really melt a lot of this quickly. Now, roads will probably still remain wet overnight tonight, but as they cool down with temperatures in the teens, and I tell you what, the wind chill is gonna be in the single digits tonight. We're talking about a hard freeze, kind of flash freezing a lot of this wet roadness that we're getting at the moment. And we're expecting a lot of icy spots in the morning. So we're not done yet, but the snow is starting to weaken a little bit. There's the sidewalk there on the right-hand side of your screen. Still snow covered a bit, but not as thick as some of the grassy areas. I'd say on the grass right now, we've got a solid 2 inches. Some folks, we had a few reports of about 3 inches of snow, and so we're watching that. But I think there's definitely enough for some sledding this afternoon. But I tell you what, if you take it easy and you're off the interstate, a lot of our roads are shaping up. I've been on US 71, kind of looks similar to what Central Avenue right here is looking like. You got some portions with some slush and some portions that are just kind of wet, but most of the tire track areas are wet at the moment. Let me know what you guys have going on in your neighborhood, how your street's doing. A lot of us had some snow-covered streets and around our houses this morning, and that'll eventually start to melt away once the snow comes down. In the river valley, though, we've got several hours to go, especially east and south of Fort Smith. We're expecting another band to pick up and intensify and drop a good amount of snow for us coming here very shortly in the next few hours. And so if your road's not covered yet, expect some snow-covered roads. But right now, I mean, we're just driving on a wet road. I'm on Central Avenue. This isn't bad at all. But there's still a little slush in between, and I noticed a little bit earlier, right before this live stream, when I was kind of doing little lane changes every once in a while, that little slush kind of interacts with your tires a little bit, so you just got to be careful. But we're coming up now on the interstate. I wanted to show you guys how the interstates are looking like right now. So if you are headed to pick up your kids, I just saw a note, Van Buren schools close at noon, so they're closing in about 30 minutes. The snow's coming down at a pretty good clip. Just take it easy as you're trying to pick up the kiddos from school. All right, so we're hopping on to I-49. Do my right turn here. We're gonna be headed south. We're headed south towards eventually kind of clipped by Rogers and then into Springdale and Fayetteville to take a look at how the roads are doing. This is the on-ramp right now, still a lot of slush. I'd say there's probably more slush on this road than the Central Avenue where I was just on. But let's take a look at how the interstate's been. I have not been on the interstate this morning yet, and so I want to take a closer look at how it's looking. So we're hopping on. Well, overall here in Bentonville, a lot of it's just wet. I mean, yeah, there's a little slush in between the roads, but in between the lanes, I should say. The road is mostly wet right now. We still got some snow, but it is lightening up. And so as it does so, the warm ground temperatures will be able to overtake some of the previously accumulated snow. It's that quick burst. I tell you what, that burst came in hotter and faster than we originally expected. But with a burst like that, it almost doesn't matter, I guess, what the road temperature is doing. If the snow is coming down at a fast enough clip, you'll be able to accumulate it. But once that rate goes down, this is what happens to the road. It goes back to just being wet. Got a little bit of residue here and there. But those bridges we got to look out for. I think we'll be coming up on a bridge here eventually shortly. But especially the Fulbright Expressway has been an absolute nightmare, an absolute mess on I-49 or on the expressway itself. You head southbound into Washington County and towards West Fork and Greenland, those bridges, they have been slick. We've had accidents there too. We had the accident on the 540 bridge, and that's a hard bridge to go across during winter weather because there's just water underneath you, right? You're up in the air, that stuff freezes here really quickly. But right now, a lot of slush. Now I'm noticing here as we go a little bit farther south, the inside lane, I think I gotta turn the brightness down a little bit, that was a little bright. That inside lane right now has a little bit of slush, but here in the middle and the right side, we're doing fine. But otherwise, not too bad here at the moment. It was not like this earlier. Folks headed out earlier, they had that quick burst and roads were very difficult. But once that snow, once again, it tapers down, it's gonna be smooth sailing. Either it's gonna be wet, but overall we're gonna be smooth sailing. I still wouldn't go 80, 90 miles per hour on the road. The cops don't want you to do that either. But overall, you're at the speed limit or going a little bit lower, just on a straightaway, you're gonna be fine. We're about to come over a bridge right now. And notice as soon as the bridge starts, this is a great example. Look how much more slush there is on the road right there. You gotta take it a little slower, there we go. Huge difference between that bridge and then now back onto the road. Most of this road is now wet. So just be careful as you're headed out. Make sure, as you're picking up the kiddos from school, have early dismissals. Just take it easy, take it slow. But right now we're just cruising on I-49. We're headed from Bentonville. We're about to cross the exit with Walton and Walnut. And we'll head south into the Fayetteville, Springdale area. Now coming up at your 5 news at noon, we'll have a live update on the roads, how they're doing, where the snow is, where it's wrapping up. But overall, in Northwest Arkansas, maybe a couple more hours of some of this moderate to lighter snow. But in the River Valley, it's game time. It is game time to watch out for that snow. That first band will accumulate quickly. If you can avoid that first band and not head out yet, you may be okay. Because later on into the evening, once that snow tapers off in the River Valley, our roads will also start to melt. But we're going to continue to head south, give you more updates this mid-morning, late morning, early afternoon to let you know how the roads are shaping up. I tell you what, every stretch of the road is going to be different. Every road just around Washington County compared to Benton County, compared to Crawford and Sebastian and Johnson, we're all going to be a little bit different. So just take it easy as you're headed out the road. Make sure you give yourself a little extra time. If your car was parked outside, there's probably going to be a little slush on it. Some of this is kind of light snow, kind of powdery a little bit. Now once you get a good burst, it doesn't matter what the consistency is, it sticks to the road there for a little bit. But otherwise, we are watching for more snow to fall this afternoon. So we'll stick with you guys throughout the day. We'll have more Drive5 reports. We'll have live reports from our radar and all that good stuff. But otherwise, we're gonna just cruise here for a little bit as you guys can see how the roads are doing. But a lot of slush and a lot of wet roads reporting right now in Northwest Arkansas, and now more snow-covered roads in the River Valley as that burst hits us. So just be careful as you're headed out the door. All right, we'll talk to you guys soon.